Let's call her Sarah. We were together for 5 years. I worked 2 jobs to put her through grad school, and she spent those years telling me I was unambitious because I didn't want to jump into debt for a startup idea I wasn't passionate about. 3 months before she finished her degree, she found herself in the arms of a guy she met at a networking event, a guy who was already a VP at a firm in her industry. She told me I was holding her back and moved out while I was at my night shift. She even took the good coffee maker. I was gutted, but I got quiet. I stopped talking to her completely. 6 months later, I launched my own company. It wasn't the startup she wanted me to do, but it was something I'd been quietly building on the side for years, a specialized logistics consultancy. It took off faster than I anticipated. By the end of year 1, I was profitable. By year 2, I was looking to acquire a smaller firm to expand my footprint. Enter Sarah again. She reached out via LinkedIn, just wanting to reconnect. I didn't respond. Then she started showing up at industry mixers I attended. She'd be hovering near the bar, trying to accidentally bump into me. She looked stressed. Her VP boyfriend had apparently been laid off, and she was struggling to find a firm that would sponsor her visa/relocation. She finally cornered me at a gala. She did the whole, "I see you're doing so well, I'm so proud of you, I always knew you had it in you." She then pivoted to, "I'm looking for a new opportunity, and I know your company is hiring. I think I could really help you take things to the next level." She thought she was doing me a favor. She thought I was still that guy who would do anything for her validation. I smiled. I didn't say no. I told her to send her resume to my HR team, which, at the time, was just a PO box I used for external applications. I waited 2 weeks. I invited her for an interview at my office. I wanted her to see the view from the top floor. I wanted her to see the brand new equipment, the staff, the success. She walked in wearing a suit that clearly cost more than she could afford, looking like she was ready to be crowned the queen of my company. She sat down, crossed her legs, and smirked. "So, when do I start?" I didn't even open her resume. I leaned back in my leather chair and said, "Sarah, I reviewed your application. Your experience is impressive, but there's a significant gap in your professional history, specifically regarding loyalty and integrity. I don't hire people who use others as stepping stones, and I certainly don't hire people who steal coffee makers when they're moving out." Her face went from smug to purple in about 3 seconds. She started stuttering, trying to backtrack, trying to make it sound like it was just a misunderstanding. I stood up and walked to the door. "You're not the right fit for this company. In fact, you're not the right fit for this building. Security is waiting outside to escort you to the lobby." She tried to scream, tried to make a scene, but my security guard, a guy who actually saw me through the worst of the breakup, was already there, hand on the door. Watching her get walked out, clutching her bag and looking small in the lobby of a building she once told me I'd never belong in. That was the most satisfying thing I have ever experienced. I'm currently interviewing for her position, and I've never been happier.